Hi everyone. Feeling blessed or not so much? Let's talk about the blessed life. Now, Psalm 1 verses 1 tells us that blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. The Bible describes this man as a blessed man. And oftentimes the question begs, what exactly is the blessing of such a man? A man who walks in integrity, who honors the way of the Lord, and who seeks his counsel in his decisions rather than that of the world. You know, with the world that we live in, oftentimes it can feel especially challenging because there are so many opportunities that can present themselves and so many ways to get ahead, with one catch. Oftentimes, the catch being to partner up with the wicked, to make compromises and to make adjustments to our worldview in order to access the benefits to be had by doing so. And I believe the character Joseph in the Bible can relate to this struggle that we face today. Joseph reached what seemed to have been the pinnacle of his career after having suffered betrayal by his family members and made his way from being a slave to now being appointed as one of the most powerful men in Potiphar's house in a foreign land. Joseph was now faced with what seemed to be possibly the opportunity of a lifetime, or possibly the biggest mistake of his lifetime. On one end, he could go ahead with the invitation of Potiphar's wife to dabble in sin and dishonor his God and possibly benefit from the opportunity of getting greater access and perhaps winning even more favor than he already had. But on the other end, he faced the risk of dishonoring his God. What would Joseph do in this situation? Joseph counted not the cost of losing favor with Potiphar's wife, even more important than any material wealth he could gain or any power he could have. Most important to him was honoring his God and walking in his integrity. And Joseph, he ran for his life and ran to his God. But the consequences were soon to face him, and he found himself back in the place he had worked so hard to be delivered from. He was back in the prison. Oftentimes, when we think about the blessed life, we think about one without struggle. But this is not the case. However, the man who chooses to walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, but rather to seek the counsel of his God, this man has a favor, a grace on his life that causes him to be esteemed among men, to be set apart from men, regardless of where he stands, whether it's in a pit or in a palace. You see, the man who is blessed carries the favor, the anointing, the grace of God. This man walks according to the divine plan that God has for his life. And the Bible tells us that God's plans for us are good. And so I want to encourage us today. As we reflect on the blessed life, I want you to ask yourself, what are some choices that I will have to make today? Will I choose to honor my God in the big decisions and the small ones? Or will I choose to walk in the counsel of the wicked? I challenge you, walk in the counsel of your God, honor him, and regardless of the consequences that you face, remember that the blessing of the Eternal One will be upon you, rest with you, and go before you wherever you go. Have a blessed day. To know more about this blessed life, join us for Youth Sunday at Jesus House Kingston, located at 3 McGregor Square off Beechwood Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Or join us live on our social media platforms at RCCG Jesus House Kingston. See you at 9 a.m. on October 22, 2023.